Ladies and gentlemen, we truly live in one of the most hypocritical countries in the world. It is absolutely astounding when you watch Cyril Ramaphosa stand proudly and speak out against the genocide in Gaza, taking Israel to the International Court of Justice, claiming that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza. All the while, his own country is falling apart. Over 27,000 people are killed in this country every single year. Being a farmer in South Africa is now the most dangerous job in the world. It is a country marred with corruption, theft, and every single criminal activity under the sun. Not only that, but most of the criminals are in government. And yet, Cyril Ramaphosa just 2 years ago had the guile at one of their many summits to say South Africa is a moral superpower that can guide the world to eternal peace. He said so last year as well to President Biden, just before Biden was pushed out of office by Donald Trump, claiming that it is South Africa and South Africa alone that can bring peace to the world because of the legacy of the ANC. The truth is, the ANC is a terrorist organization. They've always been one. They have not stopped. They merely got a lot more access to a lot more money, and they have used this money to aid and abet their fellow Islamic terrorist groups around the world. This is why South Africa is so friendly with Iran. It's why they're so friendly with Hamas. They don't care about the genocide that isn't happening in Gaza. They care about Hamas and the power of Hamas. And this is made clear by the fact that South Africa wasn't invited to the peace summit in Egypt, nor has South Africa celebrated the peace that Donald Trump had brokered between Israel and Gaza. If South Africa truly cared as much as they claim about peace and the welfare of the Gazan people, they would have celebrated this peace deal. Of course, why don't they celebrate the peace deal? The answer is easy. As part of the peace deal, Hamas can never be part of the political landscape of Gaza. Hamas needs to completely de-weaponize, and Gaza has to demilitarize. This was the agreement that Hamas agreed to in Egypt. Why? Because Hamas realized that they are on the verge of extinction. Israel has been very effective in destroying the people of Hamas. And of course, this is the problem for the ANC. The ANC, as a terrorist organization, needs to look out for their bros. And so, of course, they were going to act out. The president of South Africa, even after the peace deal has been brokered, has confirmed that South Africa will not withdraw its case against Israel in the International Court of Justice. And I want people to understand just how stupid this court case is. A big part of this court case is why Donald Trump is so peeved with South Africa and why Donald Trump is continuously punishing South Africa with very harsh tariffs and a complete stop in aid and also a withdrawal from every single prosperity agreement that may or may not have existed between the United States and South Africa. And yet the ANC continues to push forward, even now that peace has been established. The claims that there is a genocide in Gaza is still to this day highly disputed. If you actually just look at the numbers, I ask you to just use your logic. Gaza is one of the most densely populated areas in the world. In order to successfully commit a genocide in Gaza, it would take about 5 bombs in an afternoon. That is legitimately how easy it would be to kill every single civilian, man, woman, and child in Gaza. And then all you have to do is collapse the tunnels and you've killed all of the Hamas rats alongside them. Israel did not do that. Instead, Israel conducted ground operations, going from building to building, clearing out entire buildings, dropping flyers before they would bomb an area to warn the civilians to get out. It was Hamas that kept the civilians in place because every civilian death is another opportunity for propaganda. But of course, the ANC would not admit that. In fact, after October 7th, the ANC celebrated what Hamas had done alongside all of the civilians in Palestine that also celebrated what Hamas had done. So innocent civilians is also not necessarily a truthful claim. And Cyril Ramaphosa waited almost 9 days until condemning both Hamas and Israel's response to what Hamas had done. But this isn't really even what makes this one of the stupidest court cases in the world. The International Court of Justice has no authority. Even if Israel is found guilty, they can do nothing. They don't have an enforcement arm. They don't have a police that can go and arrest Bibi Netanyahu or any of the other war criminals of Israel. They can't even act against Hamas. The fact of the matter is that South Africa is torpedoing its relationship with the United States, its own economy, and its country for an empty gesture. This gesture is nothing but semantical. The International Court of Justice is a complete farce of an institution, and yet we're gambling the future of South Africa's economy on what? A bunch of irrelevant judges saying guilty at the end of the trial and then nothing happening as a result of it? Just a quick little add-in here. By the way, shortly after the peace has been established, Hamas is right back out in the street terrorizing the civilians of Gaza. Some of the people that Hamas is killing are clan leaders and sort of mafia groups that have formed, but a lot of them are just people that Hamas suspects of being collaborators with Israel, and all of them are slaughtered with no trial, no court case, and you'll notice that there's not a peep from anyone on the left or in the ANC calling for the protection of innocent Gazans. You see, because now it's Muslims killing their own, and that the left absolutely celebrates. The fact of the matter is that South Africa should now actually be seeking to rebuild relationships with America. We don't have to rebuild with Israel. Israel is an irrelevant country for the most part. There's nothing there. And I never supported Israel throughout the war with Hamas, because I don't think that Israel will have any success in a war against Hamas, because for every Hamasan soldier you kill, you'll just create more, because the Gazans have a death wish. They want to blow themselves up. Mothers and fathers literally seen on video celebrating the death of their children because it's martyrdom in Islam. And if you martyr yourself for Allah, you're guaranteed to go to heaven. It's sort of a problem with a religion where you never actually know whether or not you could make it to paradise, because Allah decides on a whim who goes and who doesn't. So martyrdom is sort of the only guaranteed way of getting there. This is not an enemy that you can really fight. And since we don't live in a world where anyone would condone complete extermination, there is really nothing you can do. The best you can hope for is to contain the situation. And then there's some serious questions that need to be asked about October 7th. How did Israel, one of the most closely guarded nations on earth, not see that attack coming? Still have massive questions about that particular bit of October 7th. Not that I say October 7th was good. Hamas should and has been punished for October 7th. But Israel does have some questions to answer on that front. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is that we live in a hypocritical nation. We live in a country where the ANC continuously tries to pretend like it is some kind of relevant party in the world. I'll remind you that we were not even invited to the Peace Summit. Some moral superpower we are. As always, hit the like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't. Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this situation. If you're for Gaza, against Gaza, for Israel, against Israel, if you think this peace deal will last or not, I'd love to read your thoughts. As always, massive shout out and thank you to all of the patrons as well as the YouTube channel members for continuously supporting this channel and allowing me to do even more for you. As always, be good to each other, be kind to each other, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace.